オッケー、じゃあいつでも始めてもろて。
Okay.
ちょっと先だな。オッケー。
I'll keep the volume pretty low for now. I think you should be able to hear me pretty clearly over top of
早速ということで、
everything.
今
But
日何本
man,
目だろう、ちょっとわかんないですけど。
all right, that's enough. That's enough out of that. So, yeah, so this is my first real live stream. I did some testing beforehand. I think that as long as I speak clearly from this distance to the microphone, I should be fine. I put on a compressor. Hang on, let me just mute this actually. I put on a compressor, which I don't normally do, mostly just to account for all of the... Mostly just to account for the fact that this is going to be less controlled than my normal recordings. Oh my gosh, they're starting already. Hang on. That's something fun you can do with this particular video player, is you can just loop various sections. So I just want a little loading cycle. Yeah, I just want a little loading cycle, and that's what I've got now. Perfect. I also have a bunch of audio filters going on, so I believe that my audio should be coming through pretty clearly. All right, so yeah, I one of you was present for like a test stream that I did a day or two ago, which I thought was private, which wasn't actually private. Thankfully, it was only about 2 minutes long, and it was mostly just my desktop. So that was a reminder to me that streaming is a blow up, as they say, and I need to be very careful about exactly what I show. So currently, I'm just going to wait probably about 5 minutes in order for people to filter in. If you are here, currently it seems like I have 0 viewers, but if you are here, then yeah. Yeah, you can leave a message. I'll be happy to reply. For goodness sakes. There we are. Now we're public. I just spent the last 2 minutes talking into a void because for some reason on YouTube's interface, the menu to select the visibility of the stream requires a second level of confirmation, even though it shouldn't work like that, but that's how it works. I was here a few minutes earlier, actually, but now it looks like I'm late. Oh no, streamers are never late. Okay, so yeah, the stream's live. I'll give people 5 minutes to come in. I'm going to adjust a couple of things. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so yeah, so I am here. If anybody wants to come in, I mean, I could just start now, but I don't really want to start without at least one person sort of acknowledging that it's live or acknowledging that things are going well. On my end, everything looks like it's going correctly. But on your end, who knows? I'm still pretty new to this whole streaming thing, so I would prefer a smooth start. For a moment there, I had one view, which I think is just me looking at it in a different browser tab. Now I have two views, which may or may not mean anything at all. Anyway, I would really like to hear your feedback on the quality of the audio, because yeah, because this because I'm using a compressor on the microphone, and I don't really like using compressors because they tend to make my voice sound really mushy. But I think I've found some pretty good settings to make it all work. So if it does sound consistent, and if you can hear it over top of what the audio is, then that'll be good. Okay, tell you what, to give people something to look at, I will watch the first game. The first game I don't think has a ton to talk about, but it'll show that the stream is live. It's not just a placeholder screen. I think 70% volume should be okay. You should be able to hear me over top of this guy. Yeah, maybe a little bit lower. So for context, this is going to be a first to 10 between Shizuoka, who plays Mei, and Taku, who plays Raven. I don't see Taku play a ton on stream normally, and I don't think I see Shizuoka a lot either. There is a Mei player who plays on stream a lot at Honkan SSL, but I don't know if it's him, because he plays a different color, like brown Mei. When I see a Raven here, it's usually either Taku or Pierce no Mabo, who plays the black and yellow and purple Raven color. Pierce no Mabo is, I hate to say this, a kind of basic Raven player, kind of reductive. He enjoys knowledge checking people a lot, I think. Taku, I think, is willing to play a lot more defensively, which is one of the keys to victory as Raven, because he's not an amazing character at forcing the issue unless you're like bad at the game. Yeah. Whiff throw, get 6H, get a counter hit. The thing that makes it, so as for the matchup, you can kind of see it happening here. It just becomes very chaotic for Raven. That combo was sick, by the way. This combo is really, really sick. I want to go back and highlight that, actually, and it'll help the fill time. So, he gets knocked down, gets OTG'd, decides not to tech in the air, or rather, decides not to do anything in the air, he just techs it in the ground. And then Mei, Shizuoka, just decides to do air dash pressure. Somehow he actually misses jump S. Leave it to a Mei player to find a way to make jump S whiff. And then Taku gets a throw, quote-unquote, punish on the landing. And he has level 2 excitement here, which means that you can either do a really bad combo, which is just Gatlings into jump D, and you get a really bad knockdown, but you at least keep Mei in the corner. Or you can be a bad man, which is what Taku is doing here, and you can go for TK scratch routes, which are, so the throw into TK scratch is a 2-frame window, and you have to time it manually. There's no trick you can do to make it easier. And because Scratch juggles higher the more excitement you have, or at each excitement level, and because it gets 1 frame faster startup at each excitement level, this is a surprisingly inconsistent combo. If you want to end in knockdown, it's easy to make the combo connect, but you don't get the knockdown. And against Mei, you always have to prioritize the knockdown, because letting her go back to neutral and start flailing and swinging is really, really bad. So he does the variant here with Far S. When I did that combo, I was learning it on a different character with a larger hurt box, so I did TK Scratch into 5P. Anyway, This is also the issue about doing this combo on Mei, is that the orb is way too high to actually make her block, which means that he can choose to do something like, well, in this case, he does what? Yeah, so he does Dolphin. Horizontal, I believe that's horizontal S Dolphin. It's actually Mei's best challenge option. It's 5-frame startup, airborne frame 1. And he gets hit on purpose here, because if he were to just chill underneath the orb, and if he were to try blocking this, it would suck. So one of the things that you'll see come up here is that he'd rather make it harder for Taku to combo him than actually deal with the mix. Luckily, Taku is, as said, a bad man, and he just knows the height where you can do a scratch loop on Mei after she gets hit like this. So let's see the whole thing. Orb set up. And the thing is, okay, yeah, so both of those scratches were level 2, and he ends at level 3 excitement. One thing that's really annoying about Raven's combos is that if you go from one excitement level up to the next during a combo, like say if the first scratch had been level 2 and the second scratch had been level 3, that would have been, like, it probably wouldn't have knocked down, because the additional height on the jump, or on the scratch, makes it harder to knock down on lightweight characters like Mei. Yeah, and that's another issue about doing Oki on Mei. She has like 4 or 5 good crouching normals she can represent, so unless you're manually locking her inside of the orb, she can kind of just flail and mash. That's TK Needle YRC, which you don't actually see a ton from Raven. It's kind of a gimmick. I should do it more. Gimmicks are only good if people know how to deal with them, after all. Yeah. That's a really awkward dust that's a bit too far from the corner, so he just goes to the standard route rather than anything complicated. Dolphin again. Yeah, so I believe I should be significantly louder than this, but I will turn it down just to make absolutely certain that you can hear me. RRC? Yeah, makes sense. Completely burst safe, just kill her. That's one thing you need to be very good at if you want to fight Mei, is doing air throws. And I'm not as good at doing air throws as I used to be. Which is an issue, because a lot of the time Raven's best anti-air is like air to air with jump P or jump S, usually jump P. Or it's an air throw, which kind of is awkward because he doesn't get like a ton of reward off of air throw. Most characters don't. Johnny gets coin, obviously, because he's Johnny. Venom gets a full combo. Most characters don't get much, like terribly much more than that, although a fair few get Oki off of air throw. That's another thing as well with Raven, is that, just this game in general, if Mei is just doing basic pressure, it's really important to try to IB at least once like that, so that you can, at the very least, get your tension pulse going up and start building meter and trying to force the issue. Yeah, he gets the orb here. Yeah, that's nice. You can't, I'm pretty sure you can't backdash that. RRC, very nice. Yeah, there we go. Gutroyer, just to kill. Yeah, there we are. And that's the nice thing about, that is the really nice thing about Raven. The anti-air grabs tend to stabilize combos really well. So even though you're giving her her burst back, she had most of her burst back anyway, so it's fine. There was more Japanese commentary on this than I remember. Okay, that's an interaction that I should highlight. So Dolphin summoned, and Raven goes into stance. These were both done predictively because they happened at like the same time. So the thing about Raven's stance is that it's really good for ignoring projectiles, because he just nullifies all of the blocks done of the projectile. Problem is, against Mei, when she's running at you like this, she can just do overhead kiss, and because Taku has no meter, he can't do anything to get out of this. He's committed to the stance. So this is normally a free overhead kiss into like at least 40 or 50%. However, and you're going to see this a few more times, Shizuoka, the Mei player, is like a little bit hesitant. Like he's not like going monkey mode all the time. So for whatever reason, he doesn't do overhead kiss. And he just does like 2D there. I guess he's just trying to... I think he might have been trying to counter hit Taku coming out of stance. Because it is counter hit recovery, although the armor overlaps into the recovery a bit. But even so, I'm not entirely sure why you would do that as the Mei player. That was a sweet that was a sweet orb. Look at that. I love it when you can, like, I love autonomous projectiles like that. It's so cool. Oh, very nice. I don't know how the Mei normal whiffed there. That's crazy. He does a lot of TK scratch in this matchup. Like, just delay TK scratch as pressure in the corner. And I guess it makes sense, because it hits Mei doing, trying to jump out. I need to do that more. It feels kind of like one-dimensional to do TK scratching the corner, because it's so obviously rewarding. It's like a miniature beak driver. But, I should do it more, because it is, you know, it's rewarding. The thing that I find about Raven is that he gets into these, like he's a very flowcharty character, so he encourages, like, flowchart, like, mindless flowchart behavior, and you really can't be mindless flowcharty with Raven. Like that, you saw he ran into the beach ball. Beach ball's not terribly difficult to run through because it's usually not covering too much horizontal space with its active frames. But it can always be an issue just because of how active it is. And I find that I tend to run into stuff like that if I'm being too mindless with Raven. And there you see Taku tries to interact with Mei when the beach ball is on the screen. He does 2D. That's not a good idea. I understand why he did it, but man. That one surprised me. He did the little walk-up close slash there. I am astonished that that was not a throw. I guess he misinputted or something, because it was absolutely enough time to get the throw. Yes, I guess that's why he does the TK scratch. Okay, that's another thing about this matchup that you're going to see repeatedly come up. So he gets the knockdown here, and Shizuoka sees Raven doing the diagonal trajectory, like up here, and he assumes that it's going to be a glide cancel into a low, like 2D or 2H. So he's blocking low here, even though Raven's above him. Remember, Exerd arcade cabinets have 6 frames of input delay, so you really need to be keyed in if you want to focus on something. And as a result of his anticipating the low, you can see he's just FDing here, he just wants to block the low. He gets opened up by the overhead. However, because Mei is a bullshit overpowered character for children, this is the first hitbox of Raven jump H, and it whiffs over her because she is too short. And then here's the second hitbox, and it connects, and he gets to switch his block here, so he gets to go back to stand blocking it, and he survives the mix-up even though he was completely wrong. Let's watch that again in real time. Oh hey, first chat message. Killer Murad. I love Mei pressure in Exerd, or at least I love doing it. Hell yeah, you should. Mei's pressure is really good. You absolutely should love doing it. I think it's a... I don't want to sound too salty right off the rip, but I think it's an incredible testament to, like, the total, like, general capabilities of Mei players, that people do not, like, collectively understand that Mei has, like, some of the best projectiles and Oki in the game. And also she just kills you off of counter hits. Because they do shit like this. Like what was happening to you here? What was happening to Shizuoka here, right? So he gets hit and he's blocking TK Orb. 2D into Scratch into TK Orb at level 3 excitement does hit media against everybody, I believe. Because the additional startup frames and launch height of Scratch mean that Raven has slightly more time to set up the orb. And so it does actually generally cover this glide. So he gets opened up here, he blocks, and he tries to burst, doesn't work. Taku does the very simple combo, because he doesn't have the meter to do RRC. And then there's this. And this, I actually hate doing this as Raven. It works way more than it should, but I hate doing this, because the orb is actually so high that Mei can mash with, I think, literally every one of her crouching buttons, and it just won't interact with the orb. Maybe 2H will extend her hurt box up into it. So he goes for the jump. Shizuoka doesn't bite. And this is just a pure, like, I won't say gimmick, but it's like a soft read on Taku's part that Shizuoka is just blocking. And I don't know why Mei would ever block in this matchup, but he is. And so this is sort of like a mental input lag thing where it's like, oh, my chance to escape passed, and he's trying to set up some more stuff, so I should do something. And he does 3K, obviously, but the delay from Taku worked out such that he gets counter hit by Scratch and then juggled up into the orb. Yeah, so the Taku takes the first 2 games. I remember I watched the first 3 or 4-ish, and I was kind of surprised that Taku won them, just because I think this matchup is like a clean 7-3 for Mei, because I don't know what the hell Raven does aside from just... Because like this stuff happens, right? Like you just randomly get clipped whenever she is near a dolphin, and you just eat all of these like very consistent combos. And you get counter hits and they just don't lead to anything because she's so small. So Taku did like kind of a shitty burst in a moment there, or a moment ago there, and you can see it's kind of coming back to bite him because now Shizuoka gets a nice little combo with an OTG at the end, and you don't ever want your burst to be that low against me. Oh god, no, you jumped at her, you fool. You believed the propaganda that said she had no good ground anti-airs. And this is what happened to you. I like how he walked under there. That was crazy good. He did it again. Yeah, but like this is generally how the rounds against Mei go as Raven. Okay. Yeah, this is generally how the rounds go. She gets like 1 or 2 big combos that put you down to like 10% health, and then she can just kind of do anything. Anyway, yeah, Killer Murad, you are apparently a top fan? I don't know what that means, but there is a small crown next to your name, so that's cool. My voice is coming in clearly. Okay, good. That was a pretty... Okay, I paused the video. I wonder. I'm kind of curious, because I had initially allowed... I initially set it on moderate delay, which is about 5 seconds, I think. But your... Yeah, I'd have to restart it to set it to ultra low latency. Okay, well, I think it should be okay. Like, I think it should be okay. We'll go. I don't know how he did not get punished for that. That's a pretty frosty thing, actually. So Raven's dash super is generally not very good. However, it is sometimes the only move he has that will unconditionally combo off of far S on normal hit, and even at distances where 2H scratch doesn't work, 2H super will work. Yeah. That poor RRC needle that was meant to be a YRC. I've seen that before. I've done that before. Oh, man. See, I think Taku, of the 2 Ravens that are active at this arcade, Taku and Pierce no Mabo, I think Taku is more of the, like, back off and just, like, use fundamentals to win Raven. And I've gravitated towards that style more as I've played a bit more Street Fighter 6 and had my fundamentals refreshed by that game. Because even though Street Fighter 6 is a bit of a drive rush simulator, it's still way more fundamental than something like Exert tends to be, unless you can enforce it. Which is not to say that this game's not fundamental, it's just, I don't mean, well, I think you get what I mean. Oh dear god, he's dead. Oh dear god, he's dead. Oh, she just has barely enough meter. Yeah. So that was an interesting combo from Shizuoka, actually, because I think on this hit, he was probably just staring at his tension gauge, and he noticed that on the very last hit, he built enough meter to do RRC, and normally you get a full charge 6H off of that RRC. But the combo had been going on for so long that I think gravity scaling started to come into effect. So he didn't get the juicy extension that probably would have killed even Raven, so he just had to go for worse Oki. Yeah, and like, you'd think that you might be able to jump at Mei, but you have to be pretty careful because if you jump at her the wrong way, she does actually have anti-airs. This surprised me. So first of all, jump D into 2-hit orb into throw works on basically everybody all of the time because nobody expects it. But I'm very surprised that Taku would go for it. What does he do here? Oh, he tries to do... That's weird. Does he try to grab the burst here? That is strange because you can just do throw into jump SPS, and that's completely burst safe with Raven. And then you can do a double jump cancel burst OS, so it'd be double jump 6S plus H, and then into a combo. And if your opponent attempts to burst anywhere in that combo except for the very last hit, then either the burst whiffs or it gets thrown by the S plus H input. But for some reason, he just does jump SH, and I guess he was going for a scratch loop here. You can't just... I don't know. I guess he was going for a scratch loop, and he gave Shizuoka the chance to burst. Something I've noticed with this matchup is that you basically can't ever go for fancy combos, because if Mei ever flails, she gets to go back to neutral. This is vile. I've spent the last, like, 10 hours thinking about how properly to describe what happens here. Oh my god. Okay, I'm going to mute this, and I'm going to play this in slow motion. And I want you to appreciate just what's happening here, okay? So, Taku gets the knockdown, and he gets a mix here. Empty glide, glide cancel, empty low inside of throw range. This only works because Shizuoka is not a filthy throw masher, because he understands that throw is difficult to make work. So he actually has to... So, this does hit meaty against Mei, and you can see... Or maybe it's like 1 or 2 frames away from hitting meaty, which is practically the same thing in this game. And so normally you would have to block this, because if you tried to jump out of it, you would get hit out of jump startup and you would be locked onto the floor. However, Shizuoka is a filthy Mei player, so he understands that blocking sucks. So he does reversal, S horizontal dolphin into the ball. He doesn't actually think that it's going to work. He doesn't actually think that it's going to work. He does this because he knows that S horizontal dolphin is airborne on frame 1, and it makes the combo difficult for Taku. Look at how high Mei is. It's really difficult to combo her here. If Taku had done like jump S scratch, it would have whiffed because Mei would have been going up. So Taku at the last minute has to do jump S double jump cancel, and then he actually fumbles the combo because it's so weird. I'm pretty sure jump V could have connected there. If he wanted to do this ideally from start to finish, I think the thing to do would have been... So he gets this mix. The thing to do would have been either double jump SD or double jump S scratch RRC. Like scratch here and then RRC. Because I believe even at level 2 excitement, that will let Mei go, or that will keep Mei close enough to the ground. And you can get like a practical, reasonable combo there. And stabilize it again. But he fumbles it. It's good play on Shizuoka to make it chaotic. Yeah. And he actually fumbles this too. Oh, I hate to see it. So he actually gets 6B to work as an anti-air, which is a lot harder with Raven than you would think. And you can do, and what he tries to do here, he tries to do glide cancel jump H. Sorry, jump H as a glide cancel, so Raven hits the ground, and then you do anti-air grab, and then you combo off of it. Problem is, he hits the lowest point in his glide too early, so he just whiffs jump H. Yeah, and that's what that far S was. He was probably attempting to input the input for anti-air grab, which is an S. So he's probably holding left and S at the moment that he inputs that. So he spent 50 meter to drop his combo. And Shizuoka just instant blocked 4 moves, which means prior to that YRC, he was building an absurd amount of meter all the time. Oh my god. The one time in the one time in the universe that Mei doesn't jump. And then Shizuoka thinks, oh, there's no way he would send out the anti-air grab again. Okay, so I've been live for about half an hour now, and we've got another 40 minutes. I will try not to pause the video too much, because I do have something I need to do later this afternoon, and I know I have a tendency to ramble. Surprise, I know I have a tendency to ramble. But you can see, this matchup is basically just Raven attempting to make things stable with not the best tools at fighting Mei, and Mei just sort of jumping around and doing whatever she feels like. The one saving grace is that if you can manage to get excitement as Raven, you do get like fairly good set play. And you do get like a pretty meaningful damage output against Mei. The issue is that it's difficult to make all of that work. What was he trying to do on Wake Up there? Well, whatever. He was mashing. Oh god, you got hit by dust? Ah, Shizuoka was charging 6p as part of the dust combo there to make it burst safe. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's another thing that happened. That's another thing that really comes back to bite Raven is his terrible, terrible stun resistance. It's really obnoxious against characters like Mei and Leo and Potemkin and Slayer and Ino sometimes, weirdly enough, and Soul. And basically all of his problem matchups. That's another fucked up mix-up that Mei can do in this matchup. The Dolphin canceling to immediate low. I used to think that was way harder than it was. I think I mentioned this in my combo difficulty tier list when I was talking about Mei. All of the Dolphin stuff is actually like way easier than I thought, simply because the buffer to input the air dash is way longer than you think, and it will carry your input forward way longer, like way longer than the normal input buffer for the game. So for a long time I thought it was difficult to do that, but it's actually not. And that is kind of an awkward thing about this game, because even if you know life it like I did and you play for like a couple thousand hours, it's really easy to have this perception of how something works, and because the game is kind of opaque, that perception just sort of becomes more powerful and more pronounced in your mind and your approach to it. These have been very good glides by Taku, by the way. Using glide in neutral usually requires you to use it as a whiff punish, and yeah, okay, usually that's what happens. Not overhead kiss? It's crazy. I don't know what Shizuoka's logic for. Yeah, okay, so I don't. Robot Rune, sup with the rare stream. Hi Rune. Hey, I didn't know you were subscribed. Thank you. I guess it makes sense. Yeah, I'm just watching Raven die to Mei. Basic Exerd stuff. Oh, he comboed into Blitz, you monster. He didn't need to do that. He could have just done 6H, but he comboed into Blitz just to do a little bit of that, of burst management. This is another goddamn thing I hate about this character. Look at this. So, he guesses wrong on the mix here, doesn't block it. But he inputs backdash correctly. Raven, so it's good that Raven has jump K, which is like 9 frames active, which covers most backdashes. Problem is that because Mei is in the air and she gets hit by two air normals, she's actually so high above your head by the time you land that your close slash whiffs completely. So you need to like identify that she got hit, and you need to do like 5H immediately or 5K They're actually about the same timing, I think, because 5H is 5 frames, is 11 frames startup on the closer hitbox, and 5K is 11 frames startup to hit above Raven's head. So it's really incredibly awkward. And Shizuoka hasn't been doing backdash a ton, but this is something that Mei just gets to do. So Raven got the hit, and he was unsafe on hit because of Mei's meterless fucked up backdash. Backdash are actually like crazy fucked up in this game, and it's something that not many people talk about because they're hard to time manually. There's no way. Yeah, there's no way. It's weird. There's no way. You tried to whiff punish Mei, she gets the flail. And like, this is the shit that bothers the hell out of me, because there's no reason for Shizuoka to do that. Do you feel like that? Even if he wanted to wake up and represent 6P, he could have just woken up and like charged it. And like, I find it very difficult to parse the like insane Clown World, Sea World nonsense that Mei players like to do from actual meaningful decisions, because they both kill me and they're both hard to interact with. Oh my god, Taku, why'd you have to run into that ball? Oh my god, Taku. Okay, that was a pretty risky burst, but it worked out. Yeah. Tell you what, I will... Honestly, this matchup does seem pretty hard for Raven. I think it's one of Raven's nightmare matchups, along just because of Ishida dice. Yes, I think that's very true. I think this is one of Raven's nightmare matchups, along with like Melia and Chip and Jam, and Slayer, arguably. I think those are like probably the most nightmarish matchups for Raven. There's been a bit of discussion about matchups in Exerd for Raven in the Raven Discord server. And it's interesting to see because some people don't, so there's like a couple of like old Japanese matchup tier lists or matchup charts, and those were like, for some reason, those put Melia as like even or like slight advantage for Melia. And I do not understand that. And then some of the newer ones from some of the more active Raven players, they correctly identify the stuff that Raven has trouble with, which is fast pixie characters with no whiff recovery and monkey gorilla characters who can counter hit you to death without ever committing to anything. But for whatever reason, they don't seem to correctly identify. They don't seem to agree on exactly how all of those should be classified. Just want to point out something here. This is what happens when you try to go in on Mei. She just jumps over all the your pressure reset, and you end up cornering yourself. Like, oh my god. I love playing lane, but it's so fucking aggravating. Because you just cannot ever move forward against this character. Yeah. Like, she's just so fast and so non-committal with everything that, like, look at that. He hits with a move. And it's like, oh no, she was sort of 2 feet above the ground. Sorry, it doesn't work. You're unsafe. You have to spend 50 meters so you don't die. Oh, good lord, how did that happen? I was looking at chat, which is like 2.5 feet away on a different monitor. Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah, counter hit. Yeah, trying to do reversal something. So this is a bunch of free instant blocks and plus frames, although you will die if you get hit. Holy shit, that wrist bar is flashing. Yeah, there we go, overhead kiss. That's something that I am surprised at Shizuoka for, because this is game 7, and he's done overhead kiss like twice. And the maze that I play, it could just be like the net play flowchart effect, or like the North American style of doing mix-ups all the time. They constantly represent overhead kiss. And it's really, really aggravating because it completely nullifies Raven's excitement stance. That was a really sweet pickup, by the way. I thought he might go into dash ship. Oh, okay, never mind. Never mind, you can just... Oh, he doesn't? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I was gonna do... Oh my god. And here's the thing. Here's the thing about doing Oki on Mei. She just gets to do shit all the time on every wake up. And so he gets the hit here with the last hit of jump S, But he's rooting into jump H. You can't do that. No, Taku, no. It whiffs on her half the time. And Mei gets to be safe, even though she mashed on wake up. I'm also kind of surprised that he does not do jump K here, because if he did jump K, jump S, that would put Mei up into her crouching hit stun animation, and then jump S would stabilize it. Yeah. It's really weird looking at this gameplay, because it's literally from Japan, right? But it feels like it's from a parallel universe where these people just have like this unspoken agreement not to do the super duper degenerate stuff. Ooh, that was a nice mix off of Needle YRC there. And that's why it can be very useful, because he could have done jump S on the way down, or jump H, which have slightly different hit stop, so the timing is different in absolute time. Or he can just do empty glide. I'm pretty sure you can do that, actually. I'm pretty sure you can do all of what I said. I haven't tested it. God, Taku, your balls are huge. Just gliding into the fucking dolphin hoop. Holy shit. We have a comment from Fortnite says, I love overhead kiss. You should. It's a fucked up command grab. And as somebody who plays a character with a pretty shitty command grab, which is Ravens, I really wish I had overhead kiss. Yeah, you got hit by an overhead that's burst safe and leads to a full combo into more Oki. Oh my god, Raven backdash actually working? That's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, so his only opportunity to survive all of that would have been to blitz the incoming dolphin on wake up. But if you look at the situation, yeah, like, it's pretty tough to see that Mei is going into the air and that she's not going to meet you with dash 2D versus dash 5K, which is like a mix-up on the blitz. And with the dolphin behind her, it's so scary. And that's something that that's one of the more overpowered things in this game. Not like that setup exactly, but just having moves that are just really fast and have no whiff recovery, or being able to move around really fast and being hard to track. Like, it's so hard to keep track of this fucking character. Like, her vertical movement is like the same as characters' dashes. Like, she gets to dash in 4 directions, if that makes sense. Also, I want to point out, sorry, I'm not going to go back more, but you can technically convert this into a combo, but you have to do a delay cancel into anti-air grab, because when Mei gets hit high up in the air like this, she actually gets flung so high away that the anti-air grab needs to essentially hit like the back of her coat or the bottom of one of her shoes. And it's more difficult than it feels like. Wow. Taku's just being a fundamentals monster out here and showing me that I'm just a goddamn idiot. Oh no, you fool, you fool. That's one thing that's been, okay, that's one thing that's been funny to see as this game has aged in the arcades, and as Mikado has sort of shut down and then not doing it. I don't actually know what the state of Mikado is, but most of the community for this game is in the Honkan SSL arcade. And it seems like people have a very different approach to it. Like, there are not super duper grinders like this who are just playing the game for hours and hours and hours every day. It seems like there's like a collective fundamental skill level that people have hit, and then it's like fundies beyond that, and like a bit of character specific knowledge. And occasionally you'll get people like the Sin player, whose name I forget, who plays the black and blue Sin, who does like all of the optimal combos against everybody, and he'll essentially sometimes show up and just completely destroy somebody. See, like, that's a sick combo by Taku. Does he set up the orb properly? No. I think he recognized that he was too high and it's hard to set that up. But let's go back and appreciate that orb combo. Again, Shizuoka doing the quote-unquote correct thing and mashing H horizontal dolphin on wake up, or S horizontal dolphin on wake up, going airborne frame 1. Counter hit by far S, which, and I want to point out, far S hard loses to wake up 3K. So Mei's in the corner, no burst, no meter, and she still gets the RPS like this. Yeah, and he does this like really, really awkward combo. Just barely makes that work. I think you can actually. Hang on. This is I don't. Okay, I'm not. I'm gonna watch this once, and I'm gonna see if he's doing it here. Okay, so this is the hit stop for jump S. No, he's not doing it. That's fascinating. I figured he would have known, but I guess not. So, okay, this is going to be my last major delay, I promise. Famous last words. So, he gets the combo here, and the, sorry, gets the Orboki here. Pardon me. Okay, so yeah, this is him doing the combo off of the command grab, and the standard, mostly universal route to set up stuff in the corner is 5K, close / first hit, jump forward, immediate jump K, jump S, and then jump D into orb. And that works on most characters. Problem is, or not problem, but the trick is, jump D has weird properties for Raven, where if you hit it normally, it sort of just like pushes him back a little bit and like stops him in place. And for some reason, I imagine its arc system works spaghetti code, that like unique hit effect of jump D does not get properly applied if you do a delayed Gatling into it. So what you can do as Raven here, and I've done this a lot, and I'm pretty sure it does work on Mei as well, is that you can do jump S, delay Gatling, jump D, and you will get a little bit of the combo pushback applied to Raven, and then that pushback sort of adds on top of what jump D does. And you can see here, yeah, he sort of gets like swung back, like one character length. But with a combo like that, if he'd done the delay Gatling, he would have been lower to the ground, and he would have gotten pushed back just a little bit more. So the orb would have hit Mei, even if she were crouching. And it's something that I've done that I've mastered doing a long time ago, like years ago, after people discovered it. But I guess Taku is just not doing it, or like he's vibing or whatever. Because I have to assume that some. Oh my God, Taku. Okay, never mind. This guy's just a troglodyte. Never mind. He tried to jump and blitz the burst. God, Taku, you deserve to lose this round. You deserve to lose. Look at what's happening. Oh my God, Taku. Okay, cool. So that's what you get for being cute against Mei once instead of just doing a burst OS. Because you could have just done a burst OS. My blood pressure is going up watching this. Oh my goodness, Taku. I'm trying to give myself like a 1-minute time limit whenever I pause the video, so that I don't get into these like 5-minute diatribes. But that stuff with Raven, with the jump, the pushback, is actually extremely important if you want to learn how to play him, because it makes setting up the orb way more consistent. Actually, sorry, minor interruption. I have an example of that. Alright, whatever. I'm not going to spend time looking for it. I forget what I named it. But I actually have a combo versus Faust that shows that is the exact same combo at the exact same positioning on the screen, which shows how the only difference being the delay Gatling into jump D actually makes the Oki, it makes the orb hit harder, or hit lower. That was a sick conversion, by the way. That was sick. Oh Lord, you have the YRC here? Oh, like he just knew. Yeah, and that is something funny with Raven, is that if for some reason Mei ever decides to sit on the ground, or like people in general decide to sit on the ground, Scratch is actually a really good move to hit people with on the ground. See, that's what you have to do in order to combo Mei if she decides to get hit in the air or backdash. You have to do 5K. And hope to God that she's near enough to your body that she gets hit by the earlier active frames. Yeah, both players just not going in. Taku with what looks like a life lead, but it's actually not much of a life lead. Yep, and May gets a knockdown off of that. Yeah, this has gone on for an enormous amount of time. Oh no. Don't burst. Just block. Just block. Yeah, okay. There we go. Taku willing to play the lamest lame I've seen in years. That's crazy. That's another that anti-air grab is a beautiful example of why it's so hard to hit May. Because she's so small, she doesn't run into the active frames as easily. It's crazy how his only glide string is jump S, jump H. That's nuts that he just goes into those normals and just deals with it when they don't work. Yeah, and this is kind of what you have to do as Raven, just build up resources, don't take huge risks. And now you know, the situation is good for him because he's got full excitement, almost full excitement. Oh my god. So, excitement drained, but he's still got meter. Yeah, so yeah. The fucked up thing is that even PRCing that doesn't let you anti-air May just because of the distance and the spacing. Throw? No. Oh my god, Taku, stop it. Just kill her, just grab her and just take the round, please. Oh my god, Taku, no. No, Taku, no. Don't lose the round, no, Taku, no. No. Why? You can't play like that in this matchup. Okay. Combo's actually kind of weird. That would actually be an easy throw combo for May, but Shizuoka does not do it for whatever reason. Oh, okay. Beach ball, rare instance of the beach ball actually saving you from a combo. Oh, that was an OTG burst. That was an OTG burst. Good timing on Shizuoka. Fun fact, there's I think like a 2 or 3 frame window in this game where if you burst while you're on the ground, you are still considered on the ground in the recovery of burst. So if you do if you do get hit, then okay. So if you do get hit, then you essentially don't get comboed because you're still considered to be OTG. Did you see those like 3 grabs from Taku there that just didn't connect properly because May is tiny? I'm not joking about my heart rate going up watching this, by the way. So this has been a pretty pleasant stream so far. I think it's been nice. I was a little nervous about it just because it's uncharted territory for me, but this has worked out pretty well. God, it's not like 58,000 games played for Shizuoka. That's crazy. Yeah, and you can see, like, Shizuoka is like such a defensive turtle kind of May that when he ran up and did that throw there, he OS'd it with far S, or with S. So he got far S whiff. Oh no. Taku, you should know you can't burst there. Most of May's combos are burst safe just because she's tiny, for no other reason. Dead angle? That's like the first dead angle we've seen from Taku this whole thing. Hang on, 1 second.
さあなんだかゲージ溜まってこれはドンってはい終わり。
The audio is very slightly delayed on this video, or on this stream. What is it? It was... there is a way to adjust that. Whatever, I'm not going to worry about it. Fine. There is a way to adjust the audio delay.
あ、帰ってきた。まずいよ、放送事故で。いや、まずいよ。俺いかにレイブンの立ち配が嫌いかしか喋ってなかった。これここに入れたんだけど、あ、なるほどね。あ、変わった変わった。オッケーオッケー。じゃあ後で3000円ぐらい。いや、まあレイブンの立ち配すらはみんなヘイト貯めてるよ。
Yeah.
5対5とごめんなさいね、戻りました。
That felt like a May round.
空いてる筐体で対戦しといて。せっかく来たんならみんな対戦してよね。まあ応援でもいいけど。どっちの応援？さあ今日あれだね、結構いい勝負多いなマジで。未来がね、ちょっと平行世界の未来が見えるとああいうことになる。
Oh my god, reverse hit 6H? 6H, that is something that happens pretty frequently in this game, which is getting weird reverse hits, which I kind of like. Yeah, you can see Taku is prioritizing just getting a bit of damage and excitement there, rather than getting the knockdown with jump P. Oh, not having 50 meter for Gutroyo there is... okay. Oh, you're doing the burst management combo. That's good. That's optimal. That's optimal. So the 6H into jump S is a Gatling that wall spots because of the burst properties. And then the Blitz is a little bit of burst management. I thought he might do super there. I would be tempted to do that if I were him, but then I'd be in the corner blocking May with no meter. And that's another really, really rough thing you saw there. He did 2H scratch, but because May instant blocked it, she gets to jump at him for free. There's like a handful of characters in this game who just happen to have really fast vertical movement. It's like Potemkin has Mega Fist, Soul has Riot Stomp, May has her jump. And if you instant block Raven far S or 2H, there's not much he can do to stop you from doing that, aside from just like doing like a hard call out anti-air grab or doing a jump cancel, which you can't do off of 2H because 2H is not jump cancelable. It was really awkward. Yeah, and then you get hit by some shit like this. Did she still have her double jump out of that dolphin? I did not know you could do that. I thought you could only air dash out of it. I guess in that case it was manually the dolphin wearing off, or the dolphin expiring, and then she just double jumped after. Anyway, we're firmly into the back half of the matchup now, so it's 5-5 apiece. So we're basically playing a little first to 5. About 20 minutes left. I have my suspicions about who wins this, but I don't actually remember. Yeah, that's Raven backdash being complete dog shit, complete dog ass. Look, this is because you tried to backdash projectiles. Oh, cool, you're dead. Cool, you're actually dead. You're gonna get stunned. Cool, you're dead. Cool. Fun character, fun matchup. So that's a hard read on Raven's part, and he gets basically the same Oki because it wasn't properly set up with excitement. And it's so I should also point out Taku's probably a really good player at anti-airing people, but Mei is a character who moves so fast and has access to a dive kick that hits on both sides of her. Jump 2H, the anchor drop, and therefore she is almost un-anti-airable. And I don't know why he's not just waking up with shit and why he's like actually choosing to block anything. Oh, Getroya would have killed. Buddy, spend the cash. Getroya or Stab Super absolutely would have killed, whatever. Taku wins in the scramble, I guess he's just that good. That is something that's very fun about Raven, is setting up little triangle jumps like that with jump S from a really awkward distance. It's not actually very good because your opponent can just go into the air or back away, but if you somehow get it, it's basically on anti-airable and it does give you a little combo sometimes. Was that a reverse hit jump S? Oh, sorry, hang on. That's a beautiful thing. Okay. Just to show you exactly how tiny Mei's hurt box is, look at this. Look at this. So she's going up here, and she goes over top of it. Not, like, unreasonable, right? I should also point out that the needle here does have a hurt box along its entire length. It's not like a KOF projectile where there's, like, a tiny little red box at the start. This is a bunch of things that are just there. They're aligned how you think they would be. And then Mei literally comes down on top of it. Look at this. Like, it's in her body, and it just... Oh my god, I hate this character so much. Having a tiny hurt box is actually one of the strongest things that you can have in Exerd, and I don't think the game has ever been balanced around it. It's funny, because if you look at the top tiers, like the commonly agreed upon, like, top 6, top 8 characters, it's like Elfelt, Johnny, and then a bunch of fucked up set play characters who have tiny hurt boxes and are hard to combo. Oh yeah, there he did the delay Gatling. Okay, so I guess he does know about it. Hang on. I know I said I wasn't gonna obsess over it, but that's a sick combo, by the way, for the side swap. Let's jump S. Yeah, and you can see there's like, so this is the hit stop of jump S, and then it's like 1, 2. Or it's like he delays the Gatling by like 1 frame, and that gets you that nice swing back feeling. So this would actually, yeah, see, it hits Mei crouch blocking. It forces her to do something immediately instead of instead of like waiting a little bit, or instead of giving her access to all of her crouching buttons.
他のキャラだったら多分そのまま終わっていたんでしょうが、レイブンコント高いんでワンチャン残った可能性はありますね。セケダン通してここは攻めを選択。それでよくガードした。セケジョン入って時間がなくなる。ボールと一緒に攻めるが投げていく。さあこれで1本取り返して6対6と。
Okay. I know it's okay. I just checked the latency on the stream, and I think it's a lot more than I thought it was. For some reason, I thought that the moderate latency would be only like 5 or 6 seconds, but it's still like 10 plus seconds, which I imagine has made this really awkward to interact with. I'm going to restart the stream, and I'm going to set it to low latency mode, and we'll see if that makes the viewing experience more fun. Back in a moment.